Says he's living in a rundown high crime area because buildings are run down and he sees a lot of crime.
Stuff from everywhere they can. A lot of drug doing. Every now and then there's a little shootout.
But the state does not recognize this North Tampa neighborhood as a blighted high crime zone. So his business and others here cannot get tax credits for adding jobs to help revitalize it.
If you can't clean the neighborhood, the place is not going to grow.
While the state steers much of the money intended for distressed communities into the heart of Orlando's tourist district.
Clean, definitely clean.
I can't get over how clean it is.
Because Florida claims the same area it promotes as a magical, kid-friendly vacation spot is also a blighted high crime zone, at least for tax purposes.
I walked around at nighttime, a lot of problems. I feel safe with the kids.
Republican state House leaders say this is wrong.
The success record is just not there, but more importantly, it's just not right.
And leading Democratic state lawmakers say it's wrong.
Exploiting this tax program that was supposed to address community blight.
So how did this happen and why won't they change it?
We've allowed these programs to exist with no sunset provision and continue even when we know they're not actually working.
More than 25 years ago, state lawmakers thought they could clean up crime and blight by giving tax credits to companies that stay there and hire people. Under the law, cities draw and submit zones that chronically exhibit extreme and unacceptable levels of poverty, unemployment, physical deterioration, and high crime. Former State Senator Jim Hargret sponsored this, and he's our tipster who first told us it's being abused.
They should feel ashamed.
On one hand, cities like Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Lakeland drew relatively small zones, which is how some streets just outside the boundaries can miss out. But the city of Orlando made its blighted high crime zone some 20 square miles.
I actually never really think it was drawn correctly.
It starts with gated communities on the south end of Orlando where homes recently sold for more than $600,000, runs through the Universal Parks and Resorts, and tracks north to the iDrive attractions, where you can rent a Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, or Ferrari.
The entire area is just thriving and getting ready for even more.
And for the past 10 years, Florida's given most of the program's money to the Universal theme parks and resorts. This is a state-produced pie chart of all the credits granted in every high crime zone since 2014. Here are the Universal theme parks, and here are the Universal hotels. In total, Universal Parks and Resorts have received more than $17 million. And state economists project it will qualify for up to $3.5 million more as it completes its new Epic Universe Park.
What problems they have again? Because I never heard of it.
In 2023, the Florida House advanced a bill to end this program, but the Senate would not go along.
It was really leadership that did not want it to be removed.
Who would leadership be?
It would be the Senate president.
We asked the Republican Senate President, Kathleen Passidomo, why she wanted to keep it, and if the decision was influenced by Universal's $168,000 in contributions to the state Republican Party this year, or $243,000 to the state Republican Senate campaigns this year, and $27,000 more from Universal's parent company. She did not respond.
In New York, they say, yo, if you got money, you got it. If you don't, keep on moving.
Hector Ruiz suspects it comes down to money in politics. And Republican House Speaker Paul Renner said he's right.
Well, because you have a powerful group of people that both like to give those monies away and like to receive those monies, and they lobby very, very hard to keep the programs just the way they are.
Representative Eskamani represents Orlando, where the city drew this map in the first place.
I don't think that this map has been accurate. I think it absolutely needs to be changed. But a part of getting it changed is also having local support. And the reality is that Universal is within the city of Orlando limits, and so they have a huge lobbying force within the local governments.
In 2018, city staff declined a request for a sit-down interview with Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, but noted we could meet up with him at one of his public events, and we did.
The city's map shows 20 square miles of unacceptable levels of poverty and deterioration, blight, and high crime.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, probably better to do an interview once I've had some information rather than popping out of the bush and trying to do it that way.
This year, his staff did not offer a follow-up interview with the mayor, but did offer a Zoom interview with the city's business development manager. And he also appeared to be unfamiliar with the program.
Does the city have any plans to re-examine the boundaries?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Do you know if the boundaries have ever been changed since they were formed years ago?
I don't know that the boundaries have changed.
He said he thought the state drew the map.
And DEO handles the production of the maps, I believe.
Well, the city and state confirmed Orlando produced the map. And this state review from 2015 shows the whole program is costing state taxpayers much more than what we get in return. For every dollar spent on the program, the state receives 7 cents back in revenue. Only in Florida do millions of tourists travel to the state's largest blighted high crime zone to feel safe.
Looks very well kept.
Great for kids.
And millions of dollars intended to fight poverty and crime flow into high-end resorts.
It's ridiculously crazy. I mean, they don't need any of it.
While some struggling communities get left behind.
Somebody came in here screaming, bloody on his back, bleeding. He was bleeding everywhere.
The map says it's not a high crime area.
I'm here. I see it. They don't need that. Little people like us do. Little neighborhoods like this one do.
The city of Orlando sent us an email noting it follows all state guidelines for the program and that the state recertifies its map based on crime stats the city submits. It also states legislative leadership, city residents, and businesses have not expressed concerns about this.